I'm going to give you a couple of examples for your worksheets today. Make sure you have out the solving one-step inequalities by adding and subtracting. We'll go over a couple of those first. Let's start with number 1. Number 1 says x plus 8 is greater than or equal to 18. Remember that you're going to solve by using the inverse. So the inverse or the opposite of plus 8 is a minus 8. I'll subtract 8 from both sides of my inequality to give me x is greater than or equal to 10. On your number line, remember that you're showing x. Because it's x is greater than or equal to, your circle on the 10 should be a filled circle. Your arrow will go to the right because x is greater than or equal to 10. Now turn over the worksheet and let's look at problem number 13. Problem number 13 says negative 28 is less than v minus 16. To solve for v, we're going to do the opposite of minus 16. So we would be adding 16 to both sides of our equation. That would be both sides of our inequality. These two cancel. I have a negative plus a positive. The signs are different, so I'll subtract. 8 minus 6 is 2. 1 minus 1 is 1. It will be a negative since the 28 is larger than 16 and it's negative. I carry down my less than sign and my variable. Now remember, we're going to write our answers where the variable comes first. So we simply flip everything. V, and then the opening should still point to the V, just like it does in the answer that we solved where we have negative 12 is less than V. We're going to rewrite it as V is greater than negative 12. That'll help when we go to actually graph our answer. When you graph on negative 12, your circle will be open because there's no or equal to. And my arrow is going to go to the right, just like my inequality points to the right. Now let's look at the next worksheet, going over multiplication and division. Let's begin with problem number 1. Problem number 1 says negative 4m is greater than or equal to negative 4. Remember, when the variable and the number are written right next to each other like that, that means you're multiplying. The inverse or opposite of multiplying is dividing. So we're going to look at the variable and divide both sides by the number next to the variable. We're going to divide both sides by negative 4. Also remember that when we multiply or divide by a negative number, we flip the sign. So before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and flip my sign. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 gives me a positive m. M is less than or equal to positive 1. Let's graph it. M is less than or equal to positive 1, so when you draw your circle on the 1, it's going to be filled because it's or equal to. So make sure you color it in and you get it filled. My arrow is going to go to the left because m is less than 1, And again, just like my inequality points to the left, my arrow also points to the left. Let's look at number 10. Problem number 10 says n divided by 3 is greater than or equal to -6. Again, when we're solving for n, we're going to do the opposite of what we're seeing. So the opposite of dividing both sides by 3 would be to multiply both sides by 3. So I'm left with n is greater than or equal to -6 times a positive 3 is a -18. Let's graph. Okay, our point is going to go to -18. It's going to be filled because it's or equal to. And just like my inequality is pointing to the right, my line is going to point to the right. Because remember, the line represents n, and n is anything that's -18 or greater than. Greater is always to the right, and less is always to the left. Okay, your assignment for today, you should have 2 separate worksheets that are front and back. On the adding and subtracting worksheet, I would like for you to do problems 1 through 15, solve and graph. On the multiplying and dividing worksheet, I would also like for you to do 1 through 15, solve, and graph. However, when you finish, I would strongly suggest that you either read a book or find something to do. If for some reason those 30 problems are not enough to keep you busy, there are actually 26 questions on the adding and subtracting worksheet and 26 on the multiplying and dividing, with the exception of the 2 I think that I've checked out that you don't have to work. And the substitute may choose to give you more work if she feels like you're finished and you're just talking and not being busy. So again, I'm also going to remind you that when we have a substitute in our classroom, they are an invited guest, and please treat them as Miss Rogers' guest, and I know you all will. You're great students. Have a great Friday. I will see you on Monday. And just a quick reminder, you will also have a quiz on Monday over these types of problems that you're going over now, and it will also include the multiplying and dividing mixed numbers that we've been doing as bell work. Again, have a great Friday and a good weekend, and I look forward to seeing everybody on Monday. Bye.